Welcome to the Uncensored Self Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gillen, and this is a space where women who value achievement, success, accomplishment, and wealth, but also crave happiness, love, joy, and deep fulfillment come to remember that we get to have both. Not by doing more, but by being more of who we truly are. In this show, we explore identity, energy, alignment, and embodiment because you didn't come here to follow someone else's rules. You came to right your wrong. Let's dive in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Ryan Gillen, and today we're going to have a chat. It is the last podcast of 2025, which is just bananas to think about. But I, usually I'm really clear on what's the message. What I got overwhelmingly was to just kind of share what I'm experiencing, what I'm noticing. So today's podcast is probably going to feel a little bit more like a chat, like a cup of coffee, like we're having a conversation. I'm explaining things to you. So I'm going to take the teacher hat off, if you will, and put on just kind of the sharing, woman to woman, high achiever to high achiever, right? Just really someone who gets it and kind of share some of what I experienced this year, some of what I'm letting go of, some of what I'm moving forward into, and just kind of put a bow on this year because this year is delicious for so many reasons. And so, but the one thing that's been on my heart that I want to start with today is that one of the things I've learned this year, noticed this year, observed this year, is that a lot of people are trying to get back to somewhere, right? Like, I want to get back to when it felt easy. I want to get back to when it was exciting. I want to get back to when I was making this amount of money or doing this many transactions, or I had this type of job, right? Like we think maybe there is something in our past that we're trying to get back to. And I 100% did this, right? In my money journey, for sure. 100%. I was trying to get back to $100,000 months. I was trying to get back to $1 million year. But what is that energetically when you think about it? When you're trying to get back to somewhere, there's this energy of something is wrong with here, right? So that's the first thing I notice is every time I'm trying to get back there, it means here is not okay. Here is not good enough. Here isn't doing it for me. And energetically, what we put out, we get back, right? So if I'm putting out this energy of where I'm at is not okay, what I'm doing is not okay, what I'm achieving is not okay, I need to get back over there so I can be safe. I'm operating from separation. I'm operating from lack. So that's just the energetics behind it. But something else I realized is I don't fucking want to go back there. Most of us don't want to go back there because, well, the beautiful story that we have romanticized in our head about how much better it was there, right? We were making so much more money and it was so much better and, but I felt better and all that. But if you're real fucking honest with yourself, you were equally as insecure. You were equally as afraid. You were equally as anxious in that other season of life too. And I speak from experience. I think, going back to that space, I don't want to go back to that girl. And maybe not even equally, but I'm okay with that not being the identity. I'm not okay with letting go of recreating that, but I had to let go of that identity. And so I think sometimes when we try to go back to the way things were, that best year we had when the business was better, when life was easier, when my husband and I were getting along better, when my body was really fit, when my business was really thriving, this was what I was doing. And we try to go back to the doing and get stuck in that old identity. Well, identity is single-handedly the thing that I think changed my life the most this year, is how I see myself. And what's wild about this is I've heard this a million times. I've taught it. I literally had a program. I just found it actually in my Google Drive called Identity. That was a 30-day kind of self-discovery program. And I still didn't really truly get what that meant. I see myself now as somebody who is going to figure it the fuck out, where 12 months ago, I saw myself as somebody that, oh my God, if I don't figure it out, then I suck. If I don't figure it out, nobody's ever going to hire me. If I don't figure it out, the world's going to fall apart. And now that's not even a thought that crosses my mind anymore. Of course I'm going to fucking figure it out. At what speed? That's up to me, right? But there is no question in my mind that the foundation that I am standing on is rock motherfucking solid. And what I am building is so solid, and who I am and what I'm teaching and what I'm good at and what my role is in my clients and who I am becoming. That identity did not exist 12 months ago. So again, do we heal some relationships? Totally, right? Heal your relationship with money, heal your relationship with your body, right? So much of this is personal development. We try to do those things. But honestly, for me, It was when I stopped trying to heal my relationship with the outside and started healing my relationship with myself, right? I realized that I did not think a lot of really favorable things about myself, or I did, but, right? Like I've always believed that I could build a wildly successful business, but it was harder for me. But it didn't come as naturally to me, but it wasn't going to look like so and so's, but I don't want to build that, but there was always a but, right? There was some disclaimer in it. And now, like I said, the disclaimer just doesn't fucking exist because identity wise, I don't want to go back. I'm not making a comeback to 7-figure Ryan. I'm intentionally creating this version of me that's going to build a wildly successful company. And is $1 million on the roadmap? Yes. But the focus has shifted so much. And so if you feel yourself, and again, a lot of my clients come to me in this space wanting to go back to a time when life felt better, easier, simpler, more abundant, whatever the case may be. And what I encourage you to do is to really think about, I don't really want to go back there, but I like those feelings. Because remember, frequency, this is a frequency game. It's an energy game. What can you take from that time period? So like I used to look back on that period of my life. Let's say it's about a 2.5 year period where things were really wild. I was running a business with a partner, right? That's when my marriage was falling apart. I was unhealthy. I was making all of this money, and that downslide from there. When I look back at that period of my life, now can extract the good. Right? Like I now can look back and say, actually, I remember the time I made $20,000 sitting on a beach, and I can anchor into that energy. I can leave behind the drama that was and say, yeah, in a 30-minute conversation while I was on vacation with 2 toddlers and my entire family in this beautiful beach house in Tybee Island, Georgia, I had a 30-minute conversation and somebody wired me 20 grand. Like that's what I'm going to take from that. So if there's a period of your life that you feel like you're going back to where you need to make a comeback from, go take that positive energy, right? Like I want to take the positive energy of being so convicted. Like I know when I was thriving the most in my business, my conviction level was top fucking notch in what I was teaching and what I was doing and what I was building. And again, how do I become an energetic match to that? So now, like I said, I'm just pulling in that conviction. That's what I want. I want the conviction energy. I'm going to leave the drama. I'm going to leave the insecurity. I'm going to leave the boss babe, tough bitch, masculine energy behind, but I can still extract the energy of what did it feel like to just know in my soul. So if you're feeling like you're trying to get back somewhere, this message is for you. I don't know who needs to hear it, but it's pinging around in my subconscious. So I think it's really, really important because again, it also has chasing energy, right? We just stay stuck in that. We just stay stuck in it. I see this over and over again. I'm going back to my notes because I'm like, ooh, we're going a little rogue. And I also, here we go. This is why I take notes, right? I also think it's okay to let success evolve. Right? Like your version of success, what success means to you. Because that has also evolved for me this year. Like, is money part of it? Yes. But money used to be all of it for me. Like, I need to tell you that money used to be all of it. Success was money. It was what's the revenue? How much money is in the bank? Is there debt? Is there not debt? What does this account look like? What does that account look like? That was my single one identifier of success. It was the top one. And then everything else came in secondarily. Right. And again, I had to let go of that, right? I had to let go of that. If I was going to keep chasing that period of life, I was stuck in that energy of that being success. So I think in letting go of that, of trying to make a comeback, it's also letting go of what's really important to me. Like it goes without saying that I run a business. So money is important to me because it's what businesses do is they make money, right? We live in a world where money is a tool, but I am no longer willing to let money be the driving force of anything that I do. I think that again was tied into that comeback because the comeback was about chasing that status and the status was defined by money. And now I'm not actually chasing anything and I don't need a status or want a status. And money is a byproduct of the woman I become. Like that is how I feel going into this year. And I couldn't try to go back to that place. So again, I want the essence of it. I want the energy of it. I want the magic of it. I wanted the freedom of the way that felt. I loved the rush of winning, of helping people, of having that conviction. Like, yes, let's bottle that up and then match it with the identity of the woman that you want to run that business. Because again, I don't want to be that woman anymore. That woman was angry. That woman was sad. That woman was disconnected. That woman was so in her head, like, ugh, I can feel it in my body right now. None of that. I don't want any of that. And that's very confusing to our subconscious, right? This is why I think it wreaks so much havoc is by trying to go back to that result. You want to go back to that identity and you're not that identity anymore. It's creating discord, right? Remember, this is all about energy. When we create discord in our energy because we're trying trying to be somebody we're not, but grow at the same time. I say that I want ease, but I'm trying to go back to when it was hard. I say that I want connection, but I'm trying to go back to when I really was insecure, right? Like, do you see where that's creating dissonance in your brain? It's not a motherfucking comeback. It's, to me, for like, the word that's coming through right now is it's a fucking remembrance. It's remembering who the fuck you are. You are God in human form. You are source energy in a physical body. You are more energy than you are matter. You are 99% energy, right? And you are literally on a floating rock in space. Like, it's a remembrance of that. It's not going back to a time when I had more money. It's remembering that I can create whatever the fuck I want. And so, of course, money is part of that. And for me, swap out money for whatever your story is here, guys. For me, it's letting go of that. It's not a comeback. It's a remembrance of what I want is a life. What I want is experiences. What I want is impact. What I want is connection. What I want is to share this work and have these types of conversations. This is what I desire. And I do trust that by doing this and sharing this, that of course I'm going to be compensated for that, because I think this work is the most valuable thing on the planet. Like, there's nothing right now in that I can see that is a better investment than myself. There's just not. There's nothing better for me to invest in this season of life. And I believe that in my whole heart. And yeah, I'm a little rogue right now, but really letting go of success, the definitions of success, right? But then also there's grief that goes along with that. And I don't feel like I was prepared for that, right? Like, I don't feel like I was prepared for really grieving that old identity, because quite frankly, I was pissed at that old identity. Like, what the fuck were you thinking, right? But again, I also have to remember that that identity took big motherfucking risks, right? That version of me, again, that conviction that I shared with you, I had. So it's okay to grieve that version of yourself. And so again, it's not a comeback. It's a remembrance, right? It's remembering that you get to decide how this goes, and it's okay if it feels scary, and it's okay if there's some grief and there's some fear in it. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong path, right? Like, discomfort is part of this, right? And I think the reason that this is on my heart so big is as I go into 2026, again, I'm recording this on Saturday, December 27th, so just a couple days before you're listening to it. And I was chatting with Derek about this yesterday, was that I don't feel like there's this big reset happening. Like, I used to look forward to the first of the year, right? Because it felt like this giant reset button. I get to start over, right? Like, I get to wipe it clean. I've got a clean slate. I've got 12 months ahead of me. I've got all the time in the world to create the things that I wasn't able to create last year, right? Like, I can finally keep those promises to myself. I can finally keep those commitments to myself. I can finally start going to the gym like I said I'm going to. I'm going to finally right? So it was like this reset button where I could erase all the promises I broke to myself, all the ways that I abandoned myself, all the ways that I negotiated with myself, all the ways that I let myself down, all the ways that I put other people's needs before my own, and finally put myself first on January 1, right? And I feel zero of that this year. January 1 is just another day. It's just a Thursday, right? It's just another day on the calendar, and time is made the fuck up anyway, right? But we feel this immense pressure because that's what the professional world has taught. It's a new year. Some of you, it's fiscal year. Some of you, again, it's bonus time. Some of you, depending on the way your business runs, right? Like, there's just a lot that goes into this, and it creates this arbitrary, artificial pressure that you get a do-over because the calendar flipped over. The way I view it is I get a do-over every single motherfucking moment. Every single time I catch myself slipping back into old habits, every single time I catch myself spiraling, every single time I catch myself telling an unfavorable story, every single time I catch myself judging somebody else, every single time I catch myself getting into lack, I get to choose again, moment after moment after moment. I don't need a day on the calendar. I don't need an arbitrary reset button. And I don't need to fix every area of my life because I'm not motherfucking broken, right? And that's the energy that I just don't have that this year. There's none of that. There's excitement, right? Like, it does feel good. I'm not immune to the fact that there's this beautiful momentum. There is this beautiful refresh, rebirth kind of thing that happens, right? You take down the Christmas decorations and it just starts to feel a little brighter, right? Like, the winter solstice has happened. There's more light. Like, all of that is really, really beautiful and fun. And I think of that more, again, as the earth energy, as the more esoteric, mystic, weird energy, not the arbitrary corporate America says you get a do-over this year, right? Like, fuck that. Like, right now, I'm not forcing any reinvention. I'm just, every single moment that I catch myself being somebody that I don't want to be, I recorrect. And I do it maybe dozens of times a day, possibly more than that when I really think about it, right? So And I do that. And every morning you get a reset. You get to wake up and you get a new day to make it the best day of your life. Like, imagine that is the energy that we took into every day, right? Instead of waiting for a date on the calendar to stop eating like shit and taking care of our bodies poorly. And like I said, prioritizing other people and pretending we're not fucking important. Like, why do we need that? It just pisses me off sometimes that we do this to ourselves. It's self-induced, but when you look around and everybody's doing it and you're not consciously surrounding yourself with people who do it differently, it feels so real and it feels so important. And again, I don't want to downplay I'm not yucking anybody's yum, right? Like we say that to the kids, right? Don't yuck somebody else's yum. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm saying is, like, for me this year, the way the holidays went, like, they were great. They were amazing. It was fun, but every day of my life is fun. Like, we adventure all of the time. We focus on creating magical moments all the time. So is there magic of Christmas? Yes. But there's also magic of my son's birthday in February. And there's magic of spring when everything starts turning green again and we can go outside and we can play. There's magic of going on bike rides as a family. There's magic of connecting with a woman and changing her fucking life. There's magic of being on the back of a motorcycle with my partner with the wind in my hair. Like, there's magic all the motherfucking time. And so I think this year, while I appreciated the magic of it and the abundance of it, and I love to give and I love to connect and I love to, have fellowship with other humans, it wasn't about creating this perfect magic moment and this beautiful tradition. It was just, if every day the amount of energy and attention we went to creating magic, we did that like we do it for Christmas. Could you imagine? And actually, I can imagine, guys, because that's what I have done. Christmas doesn't not feel magical because there's no magic of Christmas. It's because I'm the motherfucking magic, right? Like, that's the narrative, right? Like, mom's everywhere creating the magic. The husbands don't know what's under the tree. The only reason Christmas exists is because women do the cooking and the cleaning. And, the feminist movement wants us to believe that we're whatever. And yeah, that we do that to ourselves. That pressure is self-induced. Nobody is forcing you to do that. And you can choose to make every single motherfucking day of your life magical, whether you are selling houses or going to a job or running a business or leading a team or momming your kids or being a wife or a partner or whatever that looks like, being a sister. Like, there's magic all the time. So what if we go into 2026 and we just let go of the need to change anything, right? And that's a lot of it's interesting. I've never said that out loud. The funsies of me just FaceTiming with you here in my office is you get the raw. But yeah, that's, I think, why I'm so passionate about these Create 2026 sessions that I'm doing. So I did it as a group with my clients and then got the intuition to do it as these private sessions. And they're starting to book and I'm connecting with the people who are putting the calls on the calendar. And the reason why is, yeah, it's about this opportunity to choose, right? I want to choose my life. I don't want to feel like life is happening to me. I want to choose magic. I want to choose connection. I want to choose feeling good. I want to choose work I love. I want to choose passion and interest and fun instead of stress, chaos, and overwhelm, right? Try to plan every moment of our lives to an inch of our fucking tilt is what created this dissatisfaction to begin with. That's why we feel like we have to shove all the magic into one morning, right? But when we think about intentionally creating, when we think about choosing the type of life we want to have, that's where the magic is, right? Because that's what, like I said, going back to like identity, when you switch to identity, you're not building something, you're becoming something. And that energy is what makes the synchronicities and the coincidences and the wonderful ideas and how all of a sudden things start to feel easy. So again, instead of goal-based language going into this year, right? What am I choosing this year? It's not, I want to make $1 million. It's I'm choosing to be a woman who experiences more money than she's ever experienced in the easiest way possible. Do you see the difference between those two things? To say goal for 2026, $1 million. Instead of, in 2026, I am choosing to be the woman who attracts more money than she's ever attracted, who makes more impact than she's ever made, who serves more humans than she's ever served, who shows up in her power more than anything. Like, which one of those do you want to get out of bed for every morning? $1 million? Or to be that woman, to experience that life. That's what this is about, is life and experiencing it, choosing the experience that you have of the world. The world it's not happening to you. And I think that's a big thing too, that in shifting my identity this year, I didn't even realize that it was still these things happened to me. Like bankruptcy happened to me, right? Like my business partner threatening to sue me over and over again happened to me, right? Like putting on 50 pounds and being really unhealthy and being obsessed with work didn't happen. That happened to me, right? Like that identity had to shift. It didn't happen to me. I created it, or I allowed it, or I did nothing to stop it, and not in this blaming way. And I think I said this last week in talking about hard. I've definitely been saying it with my clients, because one of the parts of the Create 2026 is really taking 100% responsibility. Like, was I the woman who allowed myself to be in those situations? Yes. Yes. Did I think I had a choice at the time? Of course not. But can I look back and see those were the choices I made? I ignored my intuition and said yes to a business partnership that I knew was not aligned. And I have to take responsibility for that, right? I have to do that. And so, again, when it comes to operating from identity, is when I take 100% responsibility for my results, 100% responsibility for my choices, 100% responsibility for what I'm creating, 100% responsibility for who I'm becoming. I get to choose that regardless of what happens in the outside world, because the circumstances didn't change, right? I still did have a 5-month legal battle with my business partner. It's the story I'm telling about it. I wasn't a victim of some overzealous woman. I was a co-creator of a shitty fucking situation because I was so desperate to get away from the life that I had that I was willing to get into business with somebody I wasn't fully aligned with, and ignored what my body was telling me to chase money. And that doesn't feel good. One of the words when I was going through the Create 2026 workbook that came up for me was confronting. 2025 was a really confronting year. I had to take responsibility. I had to take responsibility for the parts of myself that I don't like very much. I don't like saying that out loud. I don't like owning that. I don't like having been that person. But while that person, again, not going back, while that person did, again, chase money, what she also did was show me what was possible. Guys, I created $1 million business in 2.5 years. I went from being a full-time employee, making $120,000 a year, to leaving a job while pregnant or on the heels of a maternity leave, doing $120,000 my first year in business, to $520,000 to $1.2 million. Again, that woman, she showed me what was possible. So we're going to leave behind the anger and the money grubbing and the obsession with the external world, but we're going to remember that when I decide I fucking want something, I get it. Are you seeing how this flows, right? Leave that part behind. Take what works. This is why we say intentional reality creation is current moments, present moment forward. You decide what the past means. You decide what the past taught you. You decide who the past made you. Did the past make you a victim? Or did the past make you somebody who decided to not fucking give up, to not let that be the end of the story, to let that just be a chapter? That's another thing we're doing in these Create 2026 sessions is I've been referring to like every year of our life as a chapter, right? 2025 is just a chapter in a story. And some chapters are better than others. Some chapters have more positive moments than others. Some chapters have more pain than others, right? But we get to choose the person that we bring to the chapter. We're entering a new chapter. Who's showing up? Tired, overwhelmed, let people walk all over me, do shit I don't fucking want to do, living this rat race of a life, feeling like it's Groundhog Day, feeling like the year went by so fast and I didn't accomplish anything I wanted to. Like, is that who you're taking into 2026? Because I'm not taking any kind of chasing into 2026. I'm not doing it. I am choosing to become a woman who doesn't chase a fucking thing. And I'm choosing that. And you get to choose too. You get to choose too. What do I want to say? How do I want to finish this, right? Final thing I was telling you, again, going back to my notes, I don't think I'm going to set a money goal for 2026. I don't think I'm going to. I think that I'm going to stick to really focusing on the identity goals, really focusing on impact. And again, not saying nothing, because I do believe there has to be a container, right? Again, this is a big part of Create 2026 is we have to create a vision, right? We have to put it out into the world if we want to fulfill it, right? Like, and I honestly think this is where a lot of women get stuck in goal setting and things like this. And why I'm so passionate about these sessions is, again, when we just say, I want to make a certain amount of money, or I just want to have that job title, or I just want to serve X number of clients, or I just want this number to be on the scale, there's no container for that, right? There's no space for it. There's no vision for it, right? Get out of debt, right? Like that's something I used to write down all of the time. But what the fuck does that look like, right? You have to create space. You have to flow energy into something. When you flow energy into get out of debt, right? For me, I want to flow my energy into so much abundance that debt is irrelevant. I want to flow my energy into making such a huge impact that the dollar amount isn't important. I want to flow my energy into changing as many women's lives as humanly fucking possible, because when I think about the ripple effect of that, it blows my motherfucking mind. And I trust in my heart of hearts that if I do that, I will be so wildly, handsomely compensated that possibly putting a number down would limit what I'm capable of. How wild is that? What if putting a number or a job title or something really limiting as your goal for the year is actually keeping you small? It's actually keeping you from what you want because, and I'm going to give you an example. Let's use the $1 million example just for funsies, okay? Like put whatever it is, sub out whatever that is for your industry. Number of transactions, GCI, take home salary, whatever. Don't care. Pick your number. And that is the goal, right? It's just, there's no vision for that. There's no emotion to that, right? It's just this arbitrary thing. And because I'm not there, it instantly creates separation. The $1 million is out there. I'm over here. There's a gap. And as long as there's a gap, I'm in lack. As long as there's a gap, I'm chasing. As long as there's a gap, there's something outside of me, right? Even if you're 100% certain you're going to hit the goal, maybe you already have $1 million on the book for next year, but it's not realized yet. And so now I've got this timer, this clock starts to tick, right? Now I've got pressure and now I've got a gap. So I've got pressure and a gap. What do we create in pressure and gaps? Lack, chasing, fixing, changing, making it better. All things that say right now who I am and what I'm doing is not enough, right? But when I wake up every single day asking myself the question, how can I make the biggest fucking impact on the world today? How can I become even better today? How can I stretch my capacity to do more, hold more, serve more, love more? How can I do that? Like there is no gap in that. Every single day I can sit down and say, yeah, I made an impact today. I made an impact today because I woke up. I made an impact today because of the content I created, because of the conversations I had with my clients, because of the way I loved my children, because of the way I interacted with my spouse, because of the way I took care of my body, because of the way I moved through the world and sent love and kindness and compassion to every car I drove by today. Fuck yeah, I made an impact today, right? You can win the day when it's about becoming, when it's about energy. When you've got this monetary goal, you don't win every day because you don't hit it every day. And you're not going to hit your energy goal every day either, right? Like you're not going to hit your identity goal every day, but you have more chances to win. And what does winning energy create? More winning. That is literally the energetics of winning. The energetics of winning, which is one of my signature talks, is we've got to find a way to win every motherfucking day. And if it's always going to be a number or something outside of us that somebody else determines for us to win, we're always going to feel like we're losing. But if I can control, I don't even like the word control. If I can impact, right? I'm the one impacting. Who am I being in this moment? Who am I being sitting here recording this for you? Who am I being when I go upstairs and interact, with Derek? Who am I being when I move through the world? We're going to go ride bikes today. Who am I being when I ride bikes, right? I'm being a woman who's in nature with a man that she loves in a random 70-degree day in December. Like, holy bananas, does that feel amazing? That's what I want. That's what I want to create. I want to create from that energy because that energy is so good. And if what I put out, I get back, I get that. Are you seeing this? Are you getting this, right? Are you getting this? You get to choose, you get to create. And I would be honored and delighted to create with you. These sessions, I think my intuition tells me are going to change my business because the results that people are going to get from this experience is going to be so profound that it is a match. The match has been lit. And I am like, in my head right now, it's, that feeling of like you can smell the sulfur in the air and you can feel the crackle, but the fire hasn't started yet. That's what Create 2026 is I think that these sessions are going to blow people's minds so much that they're going to want to obviously continue to work with me, but they're going to want to share my work. They're going to want to do life differently. And that is my heart. So Create 2026 sessions, $197. You're going to get the workbook. You're going to get an audio. It's about almost 40 minutes. And I'm just kind of walking you through it. I give you stories, visuals for some of you that kind of struggle to create in that way. And then a 60-minute conversation where we're like this, right? Like this is me and you having a conversation. But instead of me talking about my shit, we're talking about yours. We're harnessing the vision, right? Because that's one of the parts of this is you're going to create your vision. And I want to put pressure on you. There's a lot of examples. There's a lot of help. I used a lot of ChatGPT in mine. And actually, before I sign off, I kind of want to read this to you. So I don't know why. It just feels like I should. Okay. I love ChatGPT because I did. I mean, I wrote it and then I took pictures of it and I put it into chat and then I talked back and forth. My vision is to live a fucking incredible life and show other women that they can too. I want money. joy, depth, fun, freedom, love, and work that lights me up. And I want women to see it's possible because I'm living it. I want a world where women are obsessed with their lives, where they're excited about their days, deeply connected in their relationships, making ridiculous money, laughing more, playing more, not taking themselves so fucking seriously. But what's really important is that I'm not here to push anyone forward. I'm not here to pull anyone along. I am here to activate the women who are ready. I am the catalyst. I am the spark. I am the proof. And I'm here to create a life that feels turned on, alive, and deeply meaningful, and to inspire other women to choose that for themselves. That's my vision for 2026 and beyond. That's what doing this work has created. And I promise you, I will create more magic than ever, locking into that than I ever did by putting a number on a spreadsheet, choosing it for 12 months. I hope to see you in your Create 2026 session. Happy New Year. I love you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Uncensored Self podcast. If this conversation cracked something open for you, trust that. That's the work. And share this episode with a woman in your life who's ready to stop performing and start creating. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps this message reach the women who need it most. Remember, you're the creator. The rules are yours. And your uncensored self, she already knows what to do. Keep leading, keep listening, keep becoming.